Today, in the Branch Vine Garden, I will be sharing with you how you can grow an infinite number of tomato plants. First, you are going to want to identify a sucker. The best way that you can find a sucker is to look up the stem of the tomato plant and find a branch. The branch will usually be going straight out from the stem, and right in between the stem of the tomato plant and the branch will be the tomato sucker. What you will want to do is take some pruners or some scissors and go ahead and snip it off. Some people try to pull them off, but I have found that can sometimes damage the tomato sucker to where it will not root properly. Some people think that all these little hairs on the tomato stem, as you can see right there, are the roots. But those are not. They're actually called trichomes, and they help keep pests and bugs away. Next, you're going to want to take a cup of water, grab your tomato sucker that you just pruned off, stick it in that cup of water, and in only a couple of days, it should begin to grow roots. And they'll be small, just like this. Then, in a couple of more days, which generally will take about a week, they'll begin to grow roots, like these. And then, it is time to plant. When planting, it is very important that you dig a very deep hole, because the tomato stem can still grow some more roots on it. So the deeper you dig, the more roots that you can potentially get out of your tomato plant. And try to make sure that you plant your tomato plants about 8 inches apart. That is what I did with all of these big ones right here. While digging, I actually found a worm right here, which must mean that my soil is actually pretty decent. You can see one is right there flopping around, and there's another one right there, and another one. So 3 worms in total when I was digging. That's pretty cool. After digging the hole, before planting the tomato sucker, it is important to prune off the branches that are very low to the ground. Because if I plant this like this branch right here will be almost touching the ground, which can bring pests and also funguses to start growing whenever water splashes onto the leaves. So I will cut it off right now. After removing the lower branch, it is time to plant. All I'm going to do is stick the tomato sucker in and just backfill the hole. After planting, make sure that you water heavily. The reason being is because this tomato sucker right here has adapted to be able to survive in a cup of water for about a whole week. So this tomato plant has not experienced being in the ground. So you want to make sure that you fully saturate the area. The reason I have not watered too much is because it just rained earlier today, so the ground is pretty wet. Me watering was just to make sure that I get rid of any air holes. Try to water the tomato suckers about every 2 days if it is in the heat of summer in your area, and if not, every 3 to 4 days would work. Just gauge it, stick your finger in the ground, and if the soil is dry, water, because these will need a lot of water until they get bigger and mature and be like these guys. Also, when you plant your tomato sucker, try to make sure that you have somewhere that you can trellis them up. Right here, I have this about 3-foot little fence of chicken wire, which I zip tie my bigger tomatoes to when they get taller, and I put some stakes there. This is because these are vining tomatoes, so you will want to see what type of tomato you're planting, whether it being a bushing type or a vining type, because vining types will need something to grow up on, but a bushing type, they will just become a big bush on the ground. If you would like to learn how you can fertilize your newly planted suckers, which are basically seedlings, I'll be placing a video right here. It is one of the videos that I made about how to fertilize your seedlings. And if you would like to purchase some items that I use in my garden, there will be links in the description. Thank you everybody for watching the video, I hope that you learned something new and have a great rest of your day.